counterfeits. So thank you for that opportunity, Senator.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for all the fantastic work that the organisation does. I do want to just go to the budget and how CSIRO sits in the federal budget, and particularly around the core research science funding profile. I'm referring to page 229 of the portfolio budget statement and looking at the research science funding, and obviously, as I'm sure you're very closely aware without looking at the numbers, it's very, at best, flat over the forward estimates, but then we have a $100 million cliff towards the end of the period, and was actually addressed by the Secretary broadly earlier that sometimes these sorts of cliffs at the end of the period might reflect certain program funding ceasing, and so I'm wondering if you can tell us what is going on with the funding line there. Are there particular programs that you're envisaging are ceasing over the next few years?
Certainly, Senator. While I give our Chief Financial Officer a minute, I think you might be referring to, let me back up a step. When COVID happened, we diverted a lot of resources to dealing with the issues related to COVID, and we took them off other projects that generate external revenue. CSIRO in the last four or 5 years has generated record external revenue, well over 500 million. So when we took those people off, we created about 100 million hole in our external revenue in order to focus on COVID. The federal government then gave us a safety net through the budget measure of about 459 million over the next 4 years to give us an opportunity to make up for that lost revenue and kind of recover those customers. I think that might be what you're seeing in the tables, but the CFO here can give you the detailed answer if you need.
Thank you.
So Tom Munyard, Chief Finance Officer. The Chief Executive's right. That relates to a budget measure from last year's federal budget in October.
Right, okay.
$459 million was provided essentially across 4 years for CSIRO to address the impact of COVID-19 on our commercial activities, and that funding ceases at the end of the 23-24 year. So you'll see the reduction in the appropriation through to that following year.
Great, thank you. So that 100 or a sort of 94 million sort of cliff, as it looks like at the moment, is related to a withdrawal of additional funding that was provided for COVID response.
So so it was $98 million was the figure in 23-24 that government's provided to us. Yes.
Okay. And so that funding is retained over the next couple of years.
So we've got another 3 years at the end of this financial year of support to support our activities. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Dr. Marshall just referenced the increasing revenue from external sources or from independent sources, which you're projecting goes up by about $100 million over the forward estimates. That's right? Yep.
So that brings us back to our pre-COVID estimates of own source income, Senator, yes.